welcome to our hackathon. The first thing is a bit of housekeeping. So we have this mic here standing on the chair, and this picks up everything in this room, even if you are near the door. So you have to be really completely quiet if you can, except the ones who are pitching. Those should speak up and speak loudly, so that we also get the good audio for the video and for the online stream. And the second thing is, if you stand here, you stand where I stand. So I have my right foot on the X. You can stand in the middle. You can stand with the left foot on the X. But don't stand here. Don't stand over here. And so on, right? Don't stand on the X of the cable, but on this one. And so one of your team members should change the slides. And this is again for the audio and for the camera. Okay, great. So let's get started. Next slide. So the first we want to do, of course, is thank our sponsors. So this hackathon here was done in partnership with the Fondation Haribel pour l'Éducation Financière. So thank you very much for your support. Then, of course, the different jury members, we also want to thank for taking their time and coming here on a sunny Sunday. So we have represented this here from the Croix-Rouge and HELP, from Vodafone, and then of course from the Loft. And for the Loft, as every year, we want to give special thanks to Alex and his team for giving us always great, almost home here, where we can do our hackathons and all the support that goes on in the background for that. So thank you very much for this. And here is a very long list of our sponsors that support us during the year. So this is for all the content creation that we do and all the activities that we do throughout the years. Great. So we give a few words on what actually we are doing, so that our jury members and people on the stream also get a small insight into LTS. So basically, LTS is an educational concept to support the development of future digital leaders. And what this means is that 12 to 19-year-olds with a passion for digital things that want to learn and apply technology into a real context, a business context. Not just play video games, but maybe create video games. Not just use programs, but use technology to solve some problems that they are facing or that other people are facing. So here it's really about teaching with a purpose for the kids. Next. So we started with level 1, which is this module here in the middle, and now we have really a 3 years program where we are basically targeting now kids from age 11 on, all the way to when they finish high school, and there are different topics that are relevant for the Luxembourg economy, but also on the world scale. So on the very youngsters here, we are focusing on digital thinking, creative skills, how can we apply technology and creativity together to do something awesome, to create something. Then here, level 1, where we are here now in this financial tech at the end event today. We start with game development, so everyone here today created a game in the beginning of the year. Then we move on big data. How can we use big data to actually answer some questions on what's going on in the world? And then the FinTech, which this year was focusing on open banking, APIs, how to design an application for the mobile and so on. And then in Level Up, it's more on space resources and AI for finance or AI for creativity and arts, which is also a very fascinating topic. Okay, next. So what is the impact that we want to have? The first is to promote tech and science to everyone. The other one is to promote an open and dynamic learning environment. So hopefully the students this year realize this and kind of enjoyed this. And one important one is also to show the industry, and you are here today presenting the industry, that young people are just waiting, for challenges. They are ready. They are not too young. They can have an impact, and they have an impact. We just have to ask them to, step up. And the last point is that we show that innovation and quality is possible at any age, basically, if you give the right environment. So some of the highlights from this year is that we had some awesome workshops. Here you can see, for instance, Spot from Boston Dynamics, which is this robot that runs around. Then we launched this Level Go program, which I mentioned for the younger generation. And there we had over 60 people this year participating. So really successful project. And then in January, we had this game dev pitching competition where the students showcased their games, which was also very, very awesome. Next, yeah. Then we had an online hackathon because of COVID. We thought, we cannot just stop doing things that are exciting. So we moved one hackathon completely online, and this one was around, how can we fight poverty? And this was an international hackathon. So we had also kids from other countries that joined online and that kind of worked with the students from LTS on their projects. Then we won the Jugendpreis in the Go Digital category this year as well. And just a few weeks ago, we won also the National Cancer competition, where I think here, holding, you can see a small satellite in a Coke can that was sent to 1 or 2 kilometers into the air. Great, but we are here today to listen to our awesome students. So let's come to the hackathon. Basically, this year, the topic was digital financial services for seniors around the overall overarching topic of digital inclusion. And so we had 25 students which are here today. And the topics could be around payment, e-banking, financial education, safety, insurance, and so on. So they were actually quite free in picking the topic that was most important to them around the overall topic mentioned above. We cannot do this just by putting the students into a room and saying, see you on Sunday. So of course we have a lot of help from our coaches, which should wear the t-shirts, and some of them are here and some of them are not today, but here you can see the list of all the coaches of LTS which were involved in this year's program and also in the hackathon this weekend. Then what is very interesting and also an opportunity for the students is that you are here today to basically enjoy the results of this hackathon. But yesterday, when they were busy doing their ideas and so on, we had mentors coming in from the industry that already listened to the ideas and that gave their input to make it better, to make it more awesome, maybe more understandable and so on. So you can see a wide representation of the industry here, and we are really grateful also that these people always different ones, but that these mentors take their time on the weekend to help the kids. So the pitch. Basically, the program is like this. We will have 5-minute pitches, and this is with a timer that you can see under the TV. So for those who are presenting, you will see the numbers go down. Don't panic too much, just a little bit. And once the buzzer goes, it's finished, okay? So we will cut you, and please stop talking if you need more than that. Then we will have 2 minutes questions, so the jury will just ask you about what you have done. And then they will fill in the evaluation, and we will move on to the next one. There are awesome prizes that you can see here. So make the best of it, and may the best win. At the end, we will also give, for those who are here, the certificate for the annual completion of the program, since this event is the last event of the year, basically. So we have a very awesome jury this year as well. So I can introduce very quickly. So we have Claude Max, which is the Director General of the CSSF, Jessica Thirion, which is in the financial education in the ABBL, Catherine Bourrin, member of the management board of ABBL, Alex Panikan, who is the head of partnerships and ecosystems here at the Loft, Chloe Kolb, who is communication officer at the Red Cross and Help, and Vesna Pritik, who is a product manager and solution manager at Vodafone. So thank you very much again for being here today. Yeah, Great. So, how you will be evaluated? Basically, three things are important, or the most important. The first is the idea. So, how good is your idea? The second one is on the tech. So, of course, this is a tech school, so you cannot come here and not show something related to tech. And then the last one is the pitch. So, are you convincing in your message? You know, is the jury convinced that what you have done in the last 2.5 days is worth it? And this is the running order. So you should all see yourself here. So Easy Cash will be the first, followed by Bank Assist, Credit Chicken, Easy Buy, Sort My Cash, Cyberlearn, and Straightaway. And let's start. So if the first team can come up stage, thank you very much.
Hello, today we're going to present you our app, Easy Cash. Online banking made simple.
So what is Easy Cash? Easy Cash is a simplified online banking app for elderly people, which includes features to assist them during their banking experience.
Here's a quick demonstration of our app. If you log into the app, you get a login screen, but if you don't have an account, you can sign up. And you'll get an email which basically will help you to verify your account. After your account is verified, you can go back to the login screen and log in. After you have logged in, you land on your balance screen where you can see the amount of money that you have in your bank. If you want to make a transaction, we have a separate screen for that. You will just have to need to type in the amount of money you want to send, of course the target account, and maybe a name and a comment if you want. After the money was sent, you get a confirmation that the transaction was successful. And yeah, if you want to switch the account, we have a settings option down in the bottom where you can switch your account. And if you want to see your transaction history, this is an option for that where you can see how much money was divided from your account, when, and maybe the message that you wrote.
So why should you or your company choose Easy Cash? Well, we know that being old involves having side problems, trouble with using such advanced programs, and also a decrease of touch sensitivity. So our solution is just a simple UI containing a clear and big text, big buttons, and vibration feedback, which are generated when the user pushes his finger for too long on the screen. But the main issue is the lack of trust all elderly people have for new technology. So to tackle this problem, we implemented in our application automated calls after each transaction, which notify the user that a transaction has been successfully made. And of course, our transaction is completely free, and it targets seniors, but it can also be used by disabled people or young teenagers who would like to get used to this new online banking experience.
Yeah. Each bank that decides to work for us will get a custom version of their app, which is also a part of our business plan. So banks, if they want to use our app, will come to us, say, hello, we want to use your app, and then they'll say what theme they want for the app, what colors, and we will customize the app for them. So basically they will get a ready-to-use product, so it will save them time, work, and a lot of other small different things. We'll also have some sponsors that help us, probably. Here you can see a modified version of the app. Here's a Spurcase demo version. As you see, we changed the logo and the whole color theme to fit the Spurcase theme. And basically, this is what happened for every bank that will decide to work for us. So this could also work for IGN, Bill, and a lot of different other banks. And as I said before, they'll get our ready product that they can instantly implement to their banking system. We'll also have a loyalty point system for the users. So if a bank decides to sponsor us, they will get the loyalty point system included in the app. And the loyalty point system is basically a system that helps the users, but it motivates them to use the app more. For example, if they spend €1 using the app, they'll get 1 loyalty point. And if they gather enough loyalty points, they can exchange them then for gift cards or discount codes in the app. And for example, this could also attract more sponsors. For example, if McDonald's wants to sponsor us, they could say, hello, would you like to, could you please maybe implement a McDonald's discount code or gift card in your app? And we will say yes, and then we'll implement that code. So the customers can like trade these loyalty points for that code, and it attracts customers from McDonald's and also gives us the sponsorship of McDonald's. So it's beneficial for both sides. And it's also very beneficial for the user because it's basically free stuff, free money for them for basically just being active and using the app actively, which is very, good. So thank you for your time and for listening. When you have time later, feel free to download the app and test it out for yourselves. And have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions from the jury?
Yes, thank you for this. This was good. The trait for the ease of use is obviously less security when you log in, so you don't have to go through the normally more complicated features like Luxtrust. So my question would be, how do you manage to convince the banks to do that?
Maybe we could implement well, this is just a demo, but maybe in the future we can implement a bit more advanced security system that will also be a bit more like created for the seniors. So maybe a call or maybe a like double verification code that they receive. So it also would be like not too hard for them because the whole idea of the app is to make it more simpler. But yes, of course, it would be a little bit less security than the other stuff. And to convince the banks like to use our app because it has less security, we'll have to tell them that yes, it's less security, but it's better for the elderly people.
Okay, thank you. One more question, maybe?
What was the biggest pain point you had in mind for the elderly when you designed the solution?
Could you repeat that?
What was the biggest pain point for the elderly people that you had in mind when you designed this solution?
Our idea was to make like the whole app like really simple and easy to understand. So every senior wouldn't have to like call their grandchild or mom to help with each transfer. So they could learn and maybe if they use the app for a year or longer, they could maybe even transfer to like a more full-fledged app. So that is hard to use, but now they've like learned and experienced on the a little bit easier app, and they're ready for the bigger one.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Well done. We are bank assist. Only 67% of the seniors are using online banking services. And these 67% of the seniors are still having difficulties using online banking services. And they also are getting difficulties at searching support from outside. As a result, they are getting excluded from these online banking services.
So to solve this problem, we decided to make an expansion to an already existing bank app. So how will it work? It's like you could touch some icons, some features that are in the app, and they will explain briefly how it works and what it does. So if you still don't understand how it works, you can also do a video call to an assistant, and he will explain and guide you through the app. So as an example, we used Spurke's app, because it might be a bit hard to understand how it works.
So we designed our extension to fit the tablet, because according to a statistic from Red Cross, 33% of senior citizens that use these financial apps do so on a tablet. So when you open the app, this is the first screen that you'll see. So say if you didn't know what any of these features meant, you could click the big green help button over there, and you'd see this screen over here, where all the features would be highlighted. So say if you wanted to know what the financial situation was, you could click on it, and you get a brief description like that. So say if you still didn't understand what it meant, you can click the call button there, and you can video call with a professional.
If you want to check your current account balance, just tap on the 4 dots connected with the zigzagging line. It should be labelled financial situation, and from there I can bring you to check your current account balance.
So clicking on the call button will connect you with an employee that will explain what the feature means. And they can also highlight on your screen to show you exactly what you need to do.
We would market this towards banks to help them access their senior demographic better. And we would provide training to our own employees so that they can become more familiar with, well, our own software and the bank software to help seniors better. We would sell our service to the banks on a monthly basis, so they pay a monthly fee for it, and that's how we generate our revenue. So we've got Anthony, he's our graphic designer. Lucas was our communication and PowerPoint guy. And me and Nichipri are both app designers, and all together we're Simple Circle Company.
Bank Assist, assisting banks and assisting seniors. Do get in touch.
So I would have a question. In order to get to Bank Assist, you need to be in the banking app. Yeah. So is part of your service also to help people to get into the app? Because that's sometimes a big issue, you know, to get to web banking or to get into the banking app. Do you also have in mind to help people already before they are in the app, if they have difficulties?
Not really, that's not our target. Our target is to minimize the amount of confusion and getting lost in an app, in a banking app.
So how to motivate people to go to your app?
We haven't created our own app, we're just adding something on. So the way that people would sort of get into the app, that wouldn't, well, need to be done by the bank, as it is, to get customers and then join the banking system.
So this would be something that the bank does rather than, we wouldn't really motivate them. It would just be a service that we provide to the bank, and they could choose whether to provide it to the customers or not.
How did you come up with with the idea?
Well, okay, so I talked to my grandparents, and well, a few years ago, they weren't too comfortable with financial banks and even social media in general. So they mostly got comfortable with that by talking to us, and we helped them. So we thought, what if we just generalized this service and brought it to everyone? So that's how this came into effect.
Thank you. Very good.
Hi, I'm Joanna, and I'm the AI specialist.
I'm Ruby, I'm the UI and UX specialist.
And I'm Sarah, and I'm the network security specialist.
And today we'll be presenting our financial service project, which is Credit Chicken.
First of all, why did the chicken cross the road? To get better financial services.
So our elderly experience. So we contacted our relatives and asked them why they would be reluctant to use financial services, and most of them said that it would be a problem of security, so they were afraid of being hacked or scammed. So that's what we decided to focus on, as well as keeping in mind simplicity.
UI is complicated.
Well, to address this issue, we created an AI that would monitorize and analyze the behavior of the user. That it would then adapt the UI user interface accordingly to the user's needs. For instance, if the user has Parkinson's and hence shakily hands and would have then troubles clicking on the buttons, the UI would change the scale of the buttons, make them from these small buttons to bigger buttons that are easier to click on. Also, if the user has poor eyesight, it would, the UI would offer a text-to-speech or a voice-over function.
I'm afraid to make mistakes.
Well, to increase security and minimize the damage of human mistakes, we decided to use prepaid cards with a fixed low limit of money that can be spent through the card, so that in the event of a mistake, the amount of money lost would be minimal.
Also, to keep the login simple yet secure, we would store the password on a separate bracelet. Sorry. The bracelet would have an NFC tag on it, which would be encrypted with asymmetric cryptography, and then it can be activated if when the user touches the bracelet with their phone. Also, the bracelet can be kept by the user at all times, since NFC tags don't require any batteries. And here you can see how it works. But I don't want to be scammed.
Well, don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. We would use a GTP3 AI, which would take complicated legal documents and then would process them to become very simple text. So you could see in the example, it took a very complicated non-disclosure agreement and it turned it into a very simple text that uses day-to-day language, and it uses a baseball analogy in that sense to help them teach about secrecy, and that way they would know exactly what they're signing. Also, when in relation to scams, the AI would look for certain patterns that criminals use. So, for example, the statement, sum of money, and call to action sequence that are generally used, so not the simple, key elements that other filters use.
There is also a juxtaposition of emotion and sentiment in scam emails. So we took an example of a scam email and ran it through the AI to see if we could find any patterns. And so looking at the example of the Nigerian astronaut scam, we found that there were the negative emotions such as sadness and fear, but there were also the happy sentiments like receiving money, so 20% of 50 million for your help.
We would generate revenue by partnering up with banks and provide the bracelets per mail once an account has been set up.
So what we did as an overview, so we contacted the targeted audience and got valuable information so we could build financial services based on what they told us. We explored the limits of cognitive artificial intelligence in different ways to solve problems of different people, as well as ways to reduce the risk of fraud more effectively. And we investigated tokenized prepaid cards so that we could make security better.
We went back to the people we contacted in the beginning of the project to get some feedback, and the feedback was overall very positive, and there was a lot of enthusiasm around the features that we added. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
I have a question. I wasn't quite sure where this AI recognition of complicated legal language fits into the banking app.
Oh, it's so that they know exactly what they're signing. So if a bank wants to make some kind of agreement, deal, or wants to make them sign their data somewhere, then they're very complicated, there's fine print. It's really hard to understand what's going on even for us. So that way they can put their information there and they know exactly what they're going to be signing for if they are ever signing.
Okay, so this is not just for the web banking or banking app. This is for the whole relationship.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Excellent. There's a comment. Very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to our presentation about our app called EasyBank, made by me, Krish, Matheus, and so our app is developed for seniors who have a hard time purchasing products online. So our goal is to make that process easier and provide them with necessity products that will make their lives much easier. So our app is a marketplace for local Luxembourgish companies that we're going to have a partnership with, and with that we will get products that will target the audience, that is the seniors, with the necessity products that we need. And on top of that, we have a great, beautiful design on our app that we will see later, and with that, there's more eye-catching and more attractive.
So why will seniors choose our app? They will choose it because our app is an app with an easy design, so it's easy to understand and to use. Our products are made in Luxembourg, and they are specifically designed for seniors. Our app is in several languages, like for example Luxembourgish. Now we will show a demo of our app.
How do I open the link?
Stop the screen.
Okay. Back to this slide. Yes.
Yes, after creating your account, you will come to categories, and if you click there, for example in IGN, you will come to homepage where you can scroll up or down to see the products that interest you, and you can also ask us to look for a product you need, and you will come to a chat when you can chat with us. Yes, and then if you are done, you can return to the product page, and if you click on see details, you get some more information about the product, like the description, the quantity, and the price. You can also contact the helpline to ask some questions about the product, about information, and get some information you don't know. If you click make payment, you will see your balance, and if you click play, you will get a message confirming that you have paid. So to help the users, we created a feature called built-in chat with two purposes. The first one is to ask some questions to ask some questions to get some extra information and things you don't know. And the second thing is to ask for us to look for a product you need and you don't know how to find it. It will guide you and answer what you need. And if this product isn't in our catalog, we will try to buy it and send it to you.
Our safety measures. The first thing is that we use a banking API, so we try to store as little of information in our app as possible. The second thing is that the customer will be using Lux Trust to confirm his identity. And the third thing is that when the payment is done, we know that the companies will deliver the product because we are in touch with the companies. And to make money, we will have to do a commission of about 10% on top of the product price. Thank you for listening to our app idea.
Questions?
Yes, I've got a question regarding the security measures. Don't you think that they are too complicated for senior people? As a not senior user, I've got some trouble to use LuxTrust, for instance, and there is just this LuxTrust and two other authentication propositions. So, what do you think about it?
Well,
I mean, it could be hard for the seniors, but Lux Trust is a really safe way to proceed the payment that go back to the bank.
Maybe you can incorporate a part in the tool to make the transaction easier and have a kind of agreement with Luxembourg or I don't know, something else.
Something that will happen in future discourse on us, yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
No? Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alright, so welcome everyone. Today we'll be presenting Sort My Cash, an application that relies on senior settled patterns of financial activities that aims to solve their day-to-day difficulties. The objectives of our app. The main goal of our app is to provide a clear overview and to allow control and management of seniors' funds, and to do this we allow them to subdivide it into different categories. This creates an organized workspace that reduces paperwork and promotes digital activity. Our app also has certain features which make purchasing online and physically much easier, as well as some insurance and medically related features like an ability to scan invoices, as well as a reminder checklist for CNS reimbursements, for example. Now this is a quick demo view of the app. I will sort of speak and walk you through it, how our app is organized. So first of all, you may choose your account, and this is the key organizational feature of our app. These boxes right here, these are widgets. Now these widgets are clear, big boxes with some short information at a first glance. And for example, the medical widget right here tells us the amount spent we have done already in the month, and the online shopping tells us the amount left we have in the budget. Now when you click on view, it will expand and it will show a more extensive format with, for example, here a payment history, and here you also have the ability to scan invoices and the reminder feature I spoke to you about earlier. Now it's important that the help button underneath is also very clear, and here this comes in a checklist format, so you can click those and they'll just be scrubbed off, and after a while essentially they'll disappear, so they'll come off your to-do list, right? After, the app aims to also be customizable to adapt to the person's needs. That's why, for example, in the Add a Widget button, let's just check out another widget, the online shopping widget. Here you have a budget where you can add and subtract money, right? And it also has a list of frequently visited websites, something like Amazon, Luxembourg, which this is the list of websites where checkout can be made much easier. Now, because we want the app to be customizable, we have added the Add a Widget choice. Now, first of all, you start with 0 widgets, and you can add certain presets of widgets, such as the ones you can see here, or your custom ones to accommodate all your needs and, you know, whatever you may need. Now, this is it for the organizational part of the app. Now, let's move on.
In order to provide an easier usage for our customers, we also included some different features, just as the voiceover if you have troubles with reading, or you can also change the font size and the widget size, as well as the colors if you are colorblind.
and we also have 5 different languages included. So because security is usually a very big concern for senior people, we have implemented several measures. So first up, we have the normal email login, but you can also implement a two-factor authorization, and also you can log in with a token. But this is only a one-time thing, because afterwards you have a remember me button to facilitate the use of the app for seniors. Also, very important is that the data is not shared with anyone.
So we also have a website which for PC users, which gives more information. So why use Salt My Cash? First of all, it gives the user a clear overview and control over their banking action and money flow through these different subdivisions. Then we have also clear, simple UI UX, as it's especially important for seniors, and our app is in general easy to use. It is heavily personalized, as we mentioned before, and it is very secure. Like as we laid a lot of value on security, it is very secure. So thank you for your attention, and we're happy to answer your questions.
Questions from the jury?
Yeah, how will this interface with your bank account, but also I saw Amazon or Let's Shop or whatever. So how are you drawing all the data from?
So essentially, the user can enter the websites he usually or she usually shops at, and this is essentially because if he has a certain trust on those websites, you can already add them to a list, and the account, whenever you buy something there, the checkout is going to be much faster because it's simply going to enter all your details. It's not like a Remember Me because it doesn't store it in a cookie, so it's very secure, as it's just the app filling in the details for the websites you chose.
And the banks? I mean, you are sorting your expenses by category, so if you pay a medical invoice through the web banking, how will that information flow to the app?
So the subdivisions inside the app, this is a question we've gotten asked often. The subdivisions inside the app are local, so they're just a way to visualize it. You're not really setting aside the money anywhere. It's just a way so you can organize everything. Or does that not answer your question entirely?
No, I was just thinking, you know, this, if I understand correctly, this goes to your banking app and draws some information. But then my question would be, how do you sort the different expenses? You know, you've paid for a holiday, or you've paid for some stuff.
The expenses just go as normal. The only sort of widget where the expenses are listed is the medical one, which is just any medical sort of expenses will be listed, and it will say the amount you spend. The others is just to create a sort of budget, so you have like a sort of idea how much you want to spend essentially in a month.
So the idea is actually this is like a digital old style notebook.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we got it. Thank you.
Hello everybody. So before I'm going to start my presentation, I want to ask you guys, have you ever had any problems with cybersecurity? So our app wants to help especially elderly citizens with cybersecurity. I myself am Bar.
I'm Anton. And I'm Tim.
we're going to talk about what is Cyberlearn, why you should use it, our goal when creating the app, the financing of the project, and a quick app review. So what is Cyberlearn? It's a learning app where you can learn about cybersecurity, thus the name, and online banking. And we want to keep everyone entertained and informed about new online banking features. So why should you use Cyberlearn? Well, it addresses real-world problems. So first of all, elderly citizens have a lot of issues with online banking. Personally, I often get asked by my grandparents to help them with an online payment or cybersecurity stuff in general. So we wanted to address this problem and help elderly citizens in general have a learning app where they can learn about online banking and cybersecurity, so in the future they can build up confidence and soon they'll be able to do this by themselves. And so we want them to stay informed in our changing online world, especially considering that the online sector grows at an exponential rate. This is very important. Also, our app is easy to use, it's free, it doesn't have any ads, and you can learn at your own pace. So there's no strict schedule. We have to start at 8 a.m. You can start whenever you want, and you can take as long as you need for any given course. And as we all know, knowledge is power. So our goal when creating the app was, as I mentioned before, help elderly and disabled citizens in their daily online lives. And to keep our target demographic as large as possible, we implemented a neutral color scheme that does not clash with any form of color blindness. And we will implement a voiceover feature so people with sight issues can read text, can listen to text instead of reading them. We wanted to make the online society a safer place by spreading the necessary information to avoid cybercriminality. Also, we want to make this whole process fun, and we want banks to implement our app as a sort of online driver's license, so as a prerequisite to gaining access to their online banking service. So through our app, you prove your knowledge and that you're capable of taking the responsibilities that come with online banking. So how do we make learning fun? This is a hard task, but before you can understand this, we're going to explain how a course works in our app. So you're presented, you choose your course, and there's a number of text and images. And after this, we're also going to implement videos, but for now it's only text and images. And after the course, you're presented with quizzes or a minigame, or here you can see a minigame after the passwords course. In that course, you're presented with good and bad habits on creating a password. So after the course, you should be able of answering this question. There are 5 passwords, and you have to sort them by good and bad passwords. If your answer is correct, you'll be rewarded with a small, funny clip or funny image. And the knowledge you learn in our app is immediately applicable in the real world, in your daily life. So with the financing of our project, we would rely on sponsors such as entrepreneurs who like the idea, banks who want to protect their customers by teaching them about cybersecurity with our app, and banks use it as a prerequisite to gaining access to their online banking service. Also, we would rely on government and EU grants, and on a collaboration with the ABBL. So here's a quick app preview. This is our logo and the loading screen when you launch the app. And then you'll see the main menu screen. So you can select see all the introductory courses, your progress, and your progress in the advanced courses. We'll walk you through the scams course in this video. So you get presented with a brief explanation of what a scam is, and 2 scam types are presented more in detail, a phishing scam and an advertising scam, and then how you should react upon seeing one of these scams. 2 quiz questions to test your knowledge. We answered the first one correctly, and then the second one, for the sake of the video, we answered it incorrectly. And as you can see there, if you answer the question incorrectly, our app will tell you what you did wrong and why it was wrong. So you have feedback on why it was wrong, and you want to improve to see the reward next time. And this makes the user knowledge hungry, always wanting to learn more. So this is a desktop or web version of our app. Once again, you can see all the courses we have so far. So in the introductory course, there's passwords, scams, and the antivirus course. In the advanced courses, there's a Lux Trust course, online payments, and e-banking. The introductory courses are prerequisites for the advanced courses, and you need the knowledge. So the passwords knowledge or something like that would be used in the online payments course. Thanks for your attention, and enjoy your app. And just the QR code, if you scan it, you can test our app.
Who's creating the content, the learning content? Is it you? Is it something that you're going to have partners providing the content?
For right now, we did the research and we created the content that you saw in the video.
Okay. And it's the model for payment is what? You're gonna just buy from the app once? It's a license fee? What's the business model? I didn't get the part. How do you guys make money? I understand the sponsorship part, but
Well, our idea was to ask bank sponsors because it would be like an investment for them because they wouldn't have to teach and assist elderly people on that. So, and to use e-banking, etc. So it would be an investment for the
clients. Okay.
So we were talking to mentors, and they said, the ones working in banks, that they invest a lot of time and effort in teaching, especially elderly customers, on how online banking works and how the Lux Trust works especially. And we experienced the same thing with our grandparents, and so we wanted to design this app that would automate this process and they could learn at their own pace, and so the banks and grandchildren wouldn't have to invest the resources in this.
So you benefit.
One last question, maybe?
That's good, guys.
No?
So Andrew, yesterday I wanted to watch a TV show, but I didn't know which one of my 5 streaming services it was on. Do you ever have that problem?
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, so I was thinking, if we have problems finding our TV shows, how hard could it be for senior citizens with all these different finance, banking apps, you know?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a problem. And in fact, we have the exact solution for that. Here we present to you, straight away, your portal to digital finance. Straight away is the digital solution that connects you to your various financial applications via simple, intuitive functions. Here we have our loading screen, which then leads on to our main screen. Now our main screen is very important because we have 3 main features. First of all is our search bar, which allows you to search a function. Now in this, you are allowed to search, well, any function related to digital finance. And here, these 6 examples are just recommended functions that are most common in banking apps. Now, another important factor that I need to mention, and I can't stress enough, is our microphone. Our microphone, as we know, it can be hard in having a small screen to write on, especially for senior citizens. So in implementing this microphone feature, it will allow the senior citizens to directly talk to the search bar, and then it would convert it into text and thus search your function. Now let's say, for example, you wanted to click on your account. You're now directed to an entirely new page, which gives you options of different banks and even different funds. Now these funds, once you click them, you will now be directed to a new screen. So let's say, for example, I wanted to click on Emma's fund. Now a pop-up appears, and 2 things can happen. Either cancel, we all know what that does, nothing, you go back. And our next one is yes. Now once you click yes, you are now directed to that specific application. So for example, if it were BIL, your account in BIL, then you would be redirected to your account in BIL immediately. And, go back. Technical errors. Okay, so another thing that I need to mention is I need to bring you guys' attention to the top right corner where it says help. All right, so in our next page we have the help. Now this is again important for anyone who wants to use our application because we provide we put in the links that the bank's sites provide for different video guides, and this helps the elderly learn how this works, how digital finance and how digital banking works. And this is extremely important to our app and to our society overall. Now, last thing is on our contact screen, which is on the bottom right, is if you have any further questions. On here, we took the time to add this separate screen on purpose so you can have the right phone number to talk to the right bank. We also provided the email as well as the name, and everything is included in there.
So instead of elderly individuals needing to learn how to use different apps and which app to open for which function, they use our app to find the function, they press the function they want to use, and that brings them to the right place in the right app. We also came up with a business model. Essentially, banks are willing to go digital. In fact, 23% of the branches at physical bank stores closed in the past 4 years. That means that banks are less willing to pay personnel to physically and manually do all the work. They want the consumers to do it at home online, which is a challenge for seniors. So we drive this digitalization for seniors, which allows them to save costs, hence incentivizing banks to collaborate with us. We also have a subscription model for the elderly to use our app. This is a very quick example, nothing too fancy. If 1% of the elderly population in Luxembourg alone signed up for our app and paid €5 a month, we would make 4,500 euros a month. And we don't need to pay any money to advertising because the banks want the elderly to use this app, so they will market the app for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, questions?
So I would have a question. If you click on the bank button, BIL or whatever you have, will this just direct you to the bank, or will this also facilitate the, getting into the application?
Because we're collaborating with the banks, this will bring you to the exact feature that you selected. If Emma has his granddaughter, for example, if you selected that specific fund, it would bring him to the Emma's fund page within BIL app, because we have a Lux Trust connection.
Okay, so you could imagine a button, pay an invoice or something, and it would
close this app and open the app that he wants.
Yeah, but it would open the bank app, but within the you would not have to go again through Lux Trust and
No, it would open the exact page you need.
Okay, thank you.
Who's going to pay the €5? Is me as a user or the bank?
It's you as a user, but that's just to show that there is commercial viability.
Okay.
Nothing too fancy.
Any other questions? No?
What did you learn? What did you learn during this weekend?
What we learned during the weekend, well, all kinds of things. We learned to make UI things, to collaborate together, and we learned, obviously, to see the statistics that we were given, and how to take a certain statistics like 23% of branches are closing, and to take that concept and create something out of it that helps the banks, the users, and makes money.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so the jury will now choose the lucky winners. So we will go somewhere on the side, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then we will call you back. So don't run too far away. Great job. Good. No, no more stress. Good. So, the big moment arrived. So, before that, however, we want to give you big congratulations, so we can clap. Yeah, but what you don't realize perhaps is that what you achieved this weekend is remarkable. So there are very few people who will go through such an experience and also arrive at the end. So congratulations to you for achieving this. That being said, this is a competition, right? So there will be winners, there will be no losers, but you will also not get the prize money, right? So please don't be disappointed if you are not in the podium in the next 5 minutes. However, we all consider you to have succeeded in this task and also in the whole year, right? So it was a very challenging year with mask, no mask, at home, in school, over WebEx and Zoom and whatever, Discord, quarantines and so on and so forth. So it's already difficult enough to do what you do in a normal year, and this year was particularly hard. So that's really something we have to mention. Yeah, then thanks again for the jury for spending their time and basically listening to all of you. It was very difficult to find the three that would be kind of the diamond kind of, or the slightly more convincing than the others. And so we thought maybe we give just few feedback seconds to two of the jury members to give you a bit feedback what they appreciated about today. So maybe we start with Emma.
Yep. Okay, so as a jury, we were really spoiled because all of you no, this is true. I've been on many of these juries, and all the teams were good, and that's not just to say. Then we were looking for, who were the more special ones, or who came up with a special idea that is really useful for all the elderly people and not so easily available. We picked the winner, but the winner was, I must say, an easy decision. Then the runners-up were more difficult here. Really, number 2, number 3, number 4, we had a whole lot of ideas that came very close in terms of points, and so yeah. But from my side, congratulations, and I hope to see some of the ideas realized, and why not licensed? Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So thanks to all of you. You've done a great job. It was really interesting us as a member of the jury. And I would like to say that you addressed properly the question, because what the elderly people find difficult to do is to trust and to learn something new. They have really difficulties to memorize and to learn something new. And so, as Claude said, it was not so difficult to choose the first one because you addressed how to learn. So it's a great job. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's get started. Do we have some drum roll? No, so much. Number 3, fantasy. And drum roll. Number 2, yes. The winner is So, thank you very much for joining. This concludes the official event. We will now still do the remise des certificats. So you will come one by one, and we will give you the sheet. I don't know where they are, Sarah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So thanks again, and thank you for joining this year.
Congratulations.